Why do billionaires care about making even more money? It's not about money for them. It's about winning. It's about success, status, image. It's about power and influence. You don't become a billionaire by being modest, reasonable, and humane. It's not about the money. It's about growing the power of their companies. It's a competition. The way LeBron and Durant play basketball. They keep score with points. Elon and Bezos also compete, but they keep score with dollars. That's not how it works. Their wealth is tied to their ownership of a company. If Musk just indiscriminately cranked up all of his employees' salaries, the company puts less to the bottom line and the company's share price drops. That means less capital for future investment back into the brand, which means there's less business expansion, fewer new hires, less raw materials from other industries purchased, etc. You don't hear about all the rich people who just have a lot of money and enjoy their life. You only hear about the relatively small percentage of mega-rich people who want attention and prestige and who want to win in their stupid little game. That's not how wealth works. Musk, for example, owns stock in Tesla, which makes up a large portion of his net worth. If he liquidated all his Tesla stock, the price would plummet, and he wouldn't get the amount that they were worth when he initially offered them for sale. He can sell some to get cash when he needs it, although he probably has other sources of cash income. But he needs to keep the stock high. He doesn't have billions, or, most likely, even millions of dollars sitting in a bank account that he could just withdraw and donate to charity. It's all stocks, real estate, cars, planes, boats, and other things that hold value or appreciate in value better than cash. 1. You generally don't get to be a billionaire by caring about money. 2. Since most of their money is theoretical value in stocks of the companies they own, they can't cash it out without losing most of it. If Elon paid great wages, everyone would work for him and Bellin would not be able to hire anybody. I have always wondered if the people who gripe about billionaires ever said, "I think I made too much today and will work for free the rest of the week." They aren't in it for the money really. Their passion is building businesses for which money is a measure and a result of their passions. You don't get to the point of being a billionaire without being a sociopath who is obsessed with money. If you were an actual sane person, you'd be stopping somewhere between 5 and 50 million. Same reason dictators never retire. It's a flaw in humanity. When you have unlimited money or power, you tend to just try to accumulate more. Fun fact: studies have shown that people in positions of power often have more sociopathic tendencies than the average population. Science, world domination, space exploration, immortality, etc. Shareholders wouldn't have it. To have more than the next guy. A lot of sins that look from the outside like greed are in fact primarily pride. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos don't actually have billions of dollars. The overwhelming bulk of their net worth is from the stock they own in their companies. They can't spend stock. They'd have to sell it first. Stock has no intrinsic value. Its value is entirely speculative based on whatever a buyer is willing to pay. And that fluctuates every day. Here's an example. The IRS doesn't generally impose taxes on stock until it's sold. The fluctuations in the market are irrelevant. The tax status of the sale is determined by the difference between what the seller bought the stock for and what they sold it for. If they made money, then the profit is taxed. If they lost money, then the loss is deductible. This is why the bulk of Musk and Bezos' wealth is not taxed. They don't actually have the money yet. There is an exception to the above tax rule, and that's when someone exercises a stock option. A stock option is an offer to a key employee or executive of a company X number of shares at the market closing price on the day the option grant is approved by the board of directors. Access to those shares is vested by the employee or executive over time. 25% per year. For example, the whole point is to entice key employees and executives to stick around in order to get their stock option shares. So let's say a year has gone by since an option grant was approved. The employee or executive can now exercise 25% of the shares in the option grant. The amount they pay per share is the option price. The market closing price on the day the options were granted. What the shares are actually worth is whatever the current market value of the shares is. The IRS considers the difference to be a profit, and taxes must be paid on it even the buyer decides to hang on to the shares for a while. The scenario where the buyer takes a loss on the exercise of the options would only happen if the option price was higher than the current market price. Only an idiot would exercise options in that situation. Options also have an expiration date they must be exercised before. Elon Musk faced such an expiration date on option shares last year. He had to either buy the shares or lose them. But if he bought them, then he'd owe the IRS billions in taxes, even though he gets no actual cash from exercising the options. The only way he could exercise the options was to raise about $15 billion to pay the resulting taxes. He did that by selling $15 billion worth of Tesla shares. When someone dumps $15 billion worth of shares, it has an obvious negative impact on the market price of the shares. There were a lot of Tesla stockholders who were pissed at Elon. But he didn't have any other choice. Despite his net worth being over $200 billion, he doesn't actually have $15 billion in cash he could use to pay the taxes. He could have chosen not to exercise the options and just let the shares go. But owning shares is how someone maintains control of a company. Each share is worth one vote. If shareholders organize a revolt, and he doesn't hold enough shares to counter it, then he could be replaced as chairman or CEO. Unpopular opinion. Maybe because some billionaires do need the money to invest in other projects they are passionate about, or just want to try. Money gives them freedom. Think about Elon's dream of colonizing Mars, or even Zuck trying to create metaverse. I agree these plans might not be for the public good at all perhaps, but they still need some fuel before you bring in other investors. Most of their wealth is in building up the value of a company they have a large ownership stake in. In turn, other shareholders get richer and they can hire more people to work for them. It's not clear that paying your existing employees higher wages makes more people happy, though it certainly does at least some of the time. Anyways, if they wanted to make less money, they'd just sell off their stock, take a massive tax hit, and then just either sit on the money or invest it in something, meaning someone else would now own the stock with a similar strategy anyways. They steer the ship. As long as it's chugging along, it's not their job to go down below deck to see if everyone is doing their job and is happy. They have people for that. And nobody will tell the captain that the guys feeding the engine are not happy, because that reflects on management. They will ask their subordinates if everything is good, and all the yes men will paint a nice picture. Dragon sickness.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.